turn up. Do a real short video, about a minute and a half. The topic of the video is spiritual slash conscious teachers they're being censored. And this is something that's always been going on. But what's happening nowadays is because of freedom of speech. A lot of young brothers and sisters they pushing it to the levels. And there's a post floating around Facebook, and that's really what made me tap into this video. And that post on Facebook talks about spiritual people being censored. Like, for example, on my Facebook page, I used to do videos that would get thousands of views. I think my video with the most views on Facebook has 85,000 views, but it stopped at 85,000 like a year and a half ago. They literally just stopped allowing the count number to go up. Now, I'm not doing this to get paid for it. I don't need YouTube to pay me. I don't need Facebook to pay me. I just like searching the information and getting the information out. The finances will come. If you're preaching hard enough, if you're teaching hard enough, if you're changing people's lives, if you're allowing people to get to the next level, then people will want to invest into you. People will want to donate to your cause. I think the problem is that when you got to ask people for money and do specific things, you're doing too much, but then you're going to have your energy vampires. You just don't entertain those individuals. So with spiritual teachers being censored, being blacked out, being concealed, being deleted, it's a lot that's taking place in the community. Like I said, this video is going to be real short, but there are ways that we can counteract that. So when you start dealing with things from an occult perspective, one thing I learned from Bobby Hemmett, Bobby goes in and he talk a lot about, chaos. So we have to learn how to take the level of chaos, clutter, disorder, turmoil. You got to learn that there's a level of chaos that can be clean chaos. Now, I'm not talking about the chaos that get people in trouble. I'm not talking about the lower levels of chaos. The Egyptians operated in chaos. That's why when you go back and you look at the Egyptian writing, some of the medical texts, papyrus, and different things like that, even the writings on the walls, they will confuse people because the Egyptians understood how to use chaos. It was too small to allow you to come in and break down the metal net or break down their system and get you to you can go back and just read everything that they was doing. Yet a person who's melanated, yet a person who's strong could go in, who's never seen a hieroglyphic in his life, but he can go in and look at the wall and say, yo, them people talking about mixing this with that. Because there's something inside of your melanin, there's something inside of your DNA that already resonates with it. So what we have to start doing as young teachers, as young conscious teachers, as young spiritual teachers, we have to start learning how to put a message out. But when we put that message out, we have to start putting that message out to where we're using the level of chaos. So we can use certain terms use the term Western man, use the term Tamahu, use the term I can't even think of the name right now. Bahamian. So there's different words that we can use to express ourselves. There's different words that we can use. When you get in scholarship, when you get into these books, when you learning about different things, there's books that's been around for hundreds of years, thousands of years. So there's different terms that the books use that we have to get back into and start using. It's like I remember Steve Harvey did an interview, and Steve Harvey said, man, I was in a car one day and I was singing a song. My kids was in the car. Steve Harvey said, I was talking about we knee deep to coke, we get ice to float and neat. Steve Harvey was just singing a song and he was talking about birds and keys. And he said, man, my kids started laughing at me. And so I told my kids, he said, oh, what y'all laughing at? They said, Daddy, you talking about drugs. And Steve Harvey said, what? He said, I had been listening to Jay-Z music all these years. And Jay-Z was speaking in code, talking about drugs and different things that he was doing. And I never knew it. Because now you can look at the words Jay was saying and you understand what he was talking about. Because it's more the norm now. So we have to use the same concept when we start teaching. That's why something I like to do is I will purposely misspell words. I'll be writing something and purposely misspell a word, purposely misspell a word in a title. Because the individuals who need the information, they're going to get the information. The individuals who have a heart, who want to understand it, is going to reach out to them. And they say, oh, he purposely misspelled that word. I know what word he's put up in here. He just spelled that word the wrong way. So the skeptics can be like, this brother dumb, this brother know what he's doing. I'm using a level of chaos. I'm using clutter. I'm mixing it up. I'm not letting the left hand know what my right hand doing. Because we got to start using a level of chaos right now. And that's how we got to deal with these things. So the teachers are being censored. They're being shut down. It's because they're being too direct. You got to start dealing with a level of disarray. And that's how we got to handle this. Change up your teaching. Hide it. Hide stuff inside of stuff. When you're reading it, that's like when I read these books. 90% of the book might not be no good. But I'm going to find the 10% in the book because they write the books in a level of chaos to confuse us. You got to know how to read through them. And you got to start doing your videos, and you got to start wording specific things using a level of chaos. And it won't be able to shut you down because they just look at you like you're crazy. And the computer can't even pick up the words you put down because you're misspelling the words wrong. This is occult shit. Dealing with chaos, a level of confusion. I'm coming on YouTube with confusion, chaos. I'm crazy. I'm throwing off. I'm retarded. I ain't got no mind. I already lost it. Coming into it, a level of chaos. Talking about shit. Pete, man, this man talking about flying. This man talking about going invisible. They don't even want to hit none of it. They just leave me alone. He retarded. I'm Goo Gaga up here. I'm mentally gone. Speaking of truth, but this truth is so strange. It's so unnatural. It's so out of the ordinary. It's so, as Master Teach like to say, we dealing with things that are taboo. I deal with them things that are taboo. So you have to find a way to get your message out to where people can't really realize what you're doing, but you're getting it out to the people who got to get it because we're dealing with this on the level of melanin. Melanin is going to pick it up. It's going to decode it. It's going to decode the words that they come across the screen. I could say one thing, but really meaning another thing because we're speaking from a metaphysical perspective. We're speaking from a metaphysical perspective. Most of you can't make that change because you ain't ready to make that change. We're dealing with a level of chaos. I shade.